You don't learn anything without exploring the unknown. You don't know new things without facing things you don't know. You don't learn new things without knowing how not to do it. You don't learn what's right without learning what's wrong. And so that holds a lot of people back. They don't want to try something because they don't know the outcome. They want to know 100% exactly what the outcome's gonna be before they take the action. And this applies to loads of things. It could be a business decision, it could be moving to a new place, it could be starting a new job, or maybe it's a job interview, it could be a sport, a competition, it could be a football match, a fight, all these different things where the outcome is not guaranteed. You're not going to know the outcome unless you go through the process. You know, it's natural to be fearful, it's natural to be afraid, to be a bit apprehensive, a bit anxious about what's going to happen, because our mind, as I've said before, our mind is an information processing machine. It has certain programs. The basic function of the mind is to define things, is to put things in a box, put it in a category so that it understands it. Your mind is always seeking to put things in boxes. So when it's faced with something where it doesn't know the outcome, it doesn't know the situation, then fear is naturally going to come up. You shouldn't take the fear as a signal to say you're not ready to do something, or you shouldn't take it as a signal to say this or that shouldn't be done, because that fear is just a natural byproduct of your mind needing certainty. Your mind needs to know. A good way to make sure you move forward without, despite the fear, is to embrace the unknown, to embrace uncertainty, to know that the only way you're gonna find out is to ask the question. The only way you're gonna find is if you seek. The only way you're gonna take that risk, in a situation where you don't know what's gonna happen, is to embrace the fact that you don't know what's gonna happen. You're never gonna feel 100% ready. You just have to learn to embrace the unknown, embrace the possibility of not succeeding the first time. And there's no such thing as failure, really. There's only feedback. Once you learn that it didn't work this way, you know that's not the way to go about it. Once you learn that all the wrong ways of doing something, it's gonna narrow down to the one way of doing it. So the only way to learn really is by embracing the unknown, by embracing the possibility of not succeeding the first time, and keeping in mind that each time you didn't succeed, each time things didn't go as they planned, it's going to show you the way not to go, and it's going to narrow it down. Eventually you'll see clearly that this is the only way to go, because you've tried every other way. Through being able to embrace the unknown, being able to embrace the possibility of not getting it right the first time. So I'm just making this video to encourage you to take courage, to act despite the fear, because the fear is natural, because you're being presented with something in which you don't know the outcome. Your mind needs to know the outcome. Your mind needs certainty. And when you act in spite of the uncertainty, the only thing that is guaranteed to happen is that you will learn, you'll get closer to your desired outcome, because you have eliminated one wrong way of doing it. And it's not easy to act despite your fears, because you have to be able to stand in a position where you can separate your conditioning, your thoughts, your programs from yourself and who you are. These are your thoughts. You can see the fears. You don't need to eliminate the fears. You just have to be aware that those fears those fears are just part of your environment, and those fears are not necessarily who you are. Those fears are just coming from the mind. When you learn to see that there's a space, there's a distance between the thoughts, the conditioning, and the one having the thoughts, you see in that moment that you have a choice. You don't have to agree, you don't have to believe, you don't have to be compelled with every idea, every thought that you have. And the best way to do that is to be still, to be in the present moment, to be aware of what is happening, aware of your environment, both on the outside and on the inside, your internal environment, and not identifying or taking it to be who you are. Having a distance between you and your thoughts gives you the freedom to have another choice, to allow different thoughts to come and go, and then you can see which one's useful and which one isn't. And you can get better at doing that through practices, practical tools such as mindfulness, meditation, focusing your attention on the present moment, listening to the sounds you can hear, the sights you can see, the smells you smell, the tastes you taste, tuning into your five senses, things like exercise, running, anything that requires your attention in the present moment. And these have helped me being able to move forward despite fear, being able to take action despite what my mind is telling me. Like right now, for example, there's all sorts of thoughts going on in my head right now, but I'm able to stand still and carry on recording this video, despite who might be listening, despite what anyone thinks, despite whether I'm afraid that it might not make sense. All of that, I can see it happening, but despite all of that, I'm still able to carry on recording this video. The experience of listening to music requires you to be present in the moment. So music can help, but you can take it further. Someone like me who's an artist, you can take it further. You can do freestyle. Freestyle rapping off the dome is one of the best ways I've found of training yourself to stay in the present moment. And you can see your thoughts as they come. As you're rapping to the beat, you can see it happens in a flash, but you can see yourself doubting or judging a line that you're gonna say. You're thinking, is it good enough to say? And but you say it anyway, and then it turns out it worked. What I'm trying to say is freestyle rapping is a good way of embracing the unknown, practicing how to stay in the present moment. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to share with you different tools and techniques that help me stay present. And one of my favorite ways is freestyle rapping. It's so therapeutic. I recommend it to everyone. Even if you think you can't rap, just put a beat on and let your thoughts come out. Say what comes to your mind, say it to the rhythm. You don't have to rhyme, that every line doesn't have to rhyme. You're gonna see your mind presenting all these negative thoughts, all these limitations, all these ideas why you shouldn't say a line, why you can't do this, you can't do that. But through having fun, through being taken by the rhythm, you allow yourself the freedom to embrace the unknown. So just to conclude the video, a lot of people have ambitions, a lot of people have important things coming up, and they don't move forward. They are kind of paralyzed by the fear of the unknown. the fear of not knowing the outcome. And that fear is natural because your mind needs certainty. Your mind's job is to define everything. Your mind takes the waves, the frequencies, and puts it into particles, separates everything into little categories. That's your mind's job. And when it's presented with something which it cannot define, it cannot put in a box, which it doesn't know about, fear comes up naturally. Your mind gets you to avoid the situation where you are not sure of the outcome. And what I'm saying is you need to learn to embrace the unknown, learn to embrace the not knowing the outcome, because that's the only way you're gonna know the outcome. The only way you're gonna learn new things is by facing the things you don't know. And if you'd like more information about how to get better at staying present, get better at acting despite fear, despite mental distortions, limiting beliefs, visit lyricsandlife.com, where you get a free package which will help you kickstart your journey to self-mastery, and that includes free guided meditations and a worksheet that will help you kickstart your journey to self-mastery. Thank you for joining me. My name is Tris. I'm on a mission. Peace be with you.